No soportó las preguntas que el entrevistador le hacía y al escucharlas se molestaba y lo verás en este video. En él, Jesse Lee Peterson, una personalidad conservadora estadounidense, incomodó al entrevistado con sus preguntas. Esta persona entrevistada es un hombre que se autopercibe como mujer, latino, llamado Bambi Salcedo. Sí, así es, Bambi. Sus preguntas te fascinarán dado que son simples, pero a su vez objetivas. Mira el video completo y déjame saber tu opinión en los comentarios. Pero antes, si este tipo de contenido te gusta, suscríbete al canal. Tenemos la meta a mediano plazo de llegar a los 100,000 suscriptores. Sin mayor dilación, comencemos.
So your father and mother know that you are a person now?
Yes, they do.
And how do they feel about that?
They feel very proud that I am and I have become to be who I am.
And so at 19, you decided to remove, just to be clear, you don't have anything exteriorly that says you're a boy. Everything about you says woman, right? You took everything off.
What do you see?
Well, I don't see everything, but the things that you don't have them.
But I think that's part of the problem, right?
You don't have the thing, right?
Well, what I'm trying to
still
tell
have
you
that?
and what I'm trying to explain to you, and I hope that you get at some point, is that because of the societal messages and societal constructs, if you could be as masculine as possible, then that means that you are a macho, that you are someone who portrays to be what society thinks is a man, right? And it's the same for a woman. Society has sort of like transformed for people to think that a makes a woman.
So let me ask it this way. Have you had the complete surgery? I read that you had. Is that true?
Again, I think whether I have a or have that is 12 inches long, like it doesn't matter. I think what is relevant to the conversation is, what type of education you want to send to your audience.
Like Bruce Jenner did. Bruce had...
Her name is Caitlyn.
Who?
Her name is Caitlyn Jenner.
Well, he had the complete physical surgery, but apparently he's still attracted to women. Are you attracted to women at all?
My orientation, again, right? I think it's important that we understand what gender identity is and what is orientation, right? I personally like men, right? But orientation is different than how one identifies. In other words, that wants to be, that one wants to portray, right?
Let me ask, as a boy, were you, up until 19, were you ever with a girl? Right.
That's something I don't want to disclose.
As a woman, have you ever been with a man?
I've been with men different times, yes.
Straight men or men?
I personally like men.
You like masculine men?
Yes.
Okay. You run something
But
called...
being masculine doesn't mean that a person cannot be gay. So, you know what I mean? Again, these are things that we have to understand because, it seems to me that you do have a very important role. You have an audience that follows you. And so when you send this type of messages to your audience, this is the types of messages that confuse your audience.
Well, I'm only asking the questions. You're giving the message.
Well, then I think you need to reframe your questions.
I need to reframe it? What do you mean? Then
your questions are not appropriate.
What do you mean?
You're asking me if I have had, like reassignment surgery. That is not appropriate.
You kind of look like you have. A boy don't grow.
But that's your own assumption, though. You know what I mean? Like you're making judgments.
Do you think God created you this way, or it's because you resented your mother?
I think God has guided me through a very important process in which I am very grateful to.
Do you still have conflict within, or do you have perfect peace now?
I am going to say that I am not a fallen state. I am in a perfect state of mind.
Do you believe that transgender issue is a civil rights issue or a moral issue?
I think, their rights, it's a human rights issue.
But not a civil rights issue.
It is, if you have human rights, you do have civil rights. And if you're not acknowledged as a human, as an individual, as a community, then obviously the other rights are like non-existent.
In a public bathroom, a confused person can walk into any bathroom of choice now. Well, not really.
A confused person, what do you mean by that?
The ones that don't know if they're a man or a woman, they can now just walk into any bathroom of choice. Is that fair to people, to heterosexual people?
I would actually, I would actually, again, rephrase my question or your question. When people are going to the bathroom, they know exactly what they're going to the bathroom
for. But is that fair to normal people that a man
What do you mean
woman,
normal? What's normal? Well, maybe normal to you, maybe different to me.
So let me ask this way. Now that you're a person, let's say you're walking down the road and you feel like a shower. And here's a shower at Target. You're walking past Target. Here's a shower opportunity for ladies. Would you feel comfortable going into a ladies' shower, taking your clothes off now and getting in a shower with women?
I feel very comfortable being myself anywhere I go.
I want to ask you about Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Who you voted for this time around?
As an undocumented person, I am not able to vote.
So you're here illegally?
Again, these are terms that are offensive to people.
How are you able to stay here illegally and be out in the open and people know you're that way?
I am very privileged that I am able to be and go anywhere I please.
Amazing. Donald Trump, how do you feel about his immigration plans?
I want to live in a society that it is understanding, that it is, understanding of the differences of people. Not to say that, because I'm white, I have privilege, right? And those are Donald Trump's ideals.
Did he say that?
There is white supremacy.
Did Donald Trump say, because I'm white, I have privilege?
But you don't have to say it. If you understand history and the way institutions are formed and the way power is formed and is portrayed.
You call Bruce Jenner a white...
Her name is Caitlyn.
Her name is what?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Okay, Bruce Caitlyn Jenner.
Her name is not Bruce.
But anyway, you call him a white supremacist.
It's not a him. Again,
because let me just finish
you need
the
to
point.
be educated, for real. You really need to be educated.
But let me finish the point because of time. You call him a white supremacist for supporting Donald Trump. Can you explain that?
She does have white privilege.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
Well, then again,
what is white privilege?
Are you a journalist?
What is white privilege?
I think that's something that you should have already known.
Tell me in a few words or less, what is it? What is white privilege in your mind?
Oh my God. White privilege is really, it is about, it has to do with color and it has to do with resources that people have sort of like inherited or have access to.
What does it feel like knowing that society would never accept as a norm?
Again, what you think is a norm to you may be different what I think is a norm to me. And so, that notion or that sense of norm or normal, what it is normal, it's completely, stupid.
Let me ask you a final question. Do you want to be married like to a man one day and have children and all that?
I was married for 12 years.
And you have kids? To a man or a woman?
To a man.
To a man. And you have kids?
I don't have kids.
I really appreciate you coming.
Aparentemente el tío dijo de manera indirecta que su cosa es de 30 centímetros. No lo sé, quizás pensamiento mío. ¿Qué opinas? Me enfatizaré en la parte en la que el tío no tiene problema con estar como Dios lo envió al mundo en duchas para mujeres. Pero más importante aún que lo que él quiere hacer es preguntarse, ¿qué opinan las mujeres de ello? Los espacios protegidos para mujeres son áreas diseñadas para ofrecer seguridad y comodidad específicamente a mujeres, especialmente en situaciones en las que puedan sentirse vulnerables o en riesgo. Estos espacios pueden encontrarse en diferentes contextos como en entornos públicos, transporte, lugares de trabajo, centros de estudio, refugios y más. Los progres, evidentemente, han tomado esto de manera exagerada y han creado cosas como por ejemplo buses exclusivos para mujeres, taxis gratuitos para mujeres, etc. Eso no lo tomaremos en este análisis. Tomemos como ejemplo lo siguiente: los centros comerciales, aeropuertos y estaciones de servicio, los cuales ofrecen baños exclusivos para mujeres para garantizar su seguridad y privacidad. La invasión de estos espacios exclusivos para mujeres por parte de hombres puede generar diferentes reacciones y consecuencias. La presencia de hombres en estos lugares podría ser percibida como una violación de la seguridad y privacidad que se pretende proporcionar a las mujeres, lo que podría generar rechazo por parte de la comunidad o de la administración del lugar. El acceso, por ejemplo, a los baños debería basarse en la biología. Esto preserva la privacidad y la seguridad, especialmente en situaciones en las que hay mujeres y niñas presentes. Permitir a personas transgénero utilizar baños de acuerdo con su identidad de género podría ser utilizado indebidamente por personas con intenciones maliciosas. Recordemos, por ejemplo, que en muchos países el tan solo decir que te sientes mujer, siendo tú un hombre, eso te convierte automáticamente en mujer. Algo ridículo, pero que ocurre. ¿Y tú qué opinas? Déjamelo saber en los comentarios. Y aquí culmina este video. Si te gustó, dale like, comenta el video y compártelo. Gracias, hasta luego.